Well, good morning, everybody. And again, happy birthday to Goldie. That's tremendous. She's here on her birthday giving a presentation and hosting a conference. She asked whether or not she needs to use glasses. Not quite yet, thank goodness, she's too young. I, however, need to use glasses. I remember that birthday many years ago, a little longer than I care to confess. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today. I've been long told that there are 3 simple rules for public presentation. It's important to be bold, be brief, and then be gone. So let's see how well I do in the next few minutes. When it comes to all of us at OMB, some of the most exciting work we do is delivering on the President's artificial intelligence agenda. Earlier this spring, as you know, President Trump outlined an artificial intelligence action plan to ensure America keeps and expands her lead in AI. In that plan, he laid out 3 pillars that guide our work. First, the President demands the federal government speed up needed innovation to stay ahead of our competition in the development and distribution of new AI technology across every field. Second, he wants the United States to fortify and expand essential infrastructure for AI, tearing down regulatory barriers and fast-forwarding energy development and technology deployment. Third, he's having us all use our applicable diplomatic and national security tools to guarantee our competitors don't find ways to hold us back on AI or, God forbid, beat our pants off. And alongside the President, the First Lady, too, is also keeping us sharp on AI. She's announced a presidential AI challenge, inviting students to solve real-world problems in their communities using AI-powered tools. She wants to emphasize the transformative potential of AI while helping kids be their best with AI technology. She's driving new knowledge and successful take-up of this new technology and new talents across America's schools and communities and among America's kids, teens, and young adults. Together, the President and the First Lady are really moving us forward on AI, and our nation owes them a true debt. Across the federal government, you see our focus on building the infrastructure to ensure AI stands up and deploys, from the best light touch regulation and guidance, to guaranteeing necessary energy resources, to exploring the greatest use cases and appropriate deployment of AI into all our federal programs. At OMB, every day, we find ways with all federal agencies to identify, revise, or repeal anything which hinders AI development or deployment, and our team is doing a great job. I hope you have a chance to talk to them in the months and years ahead. And our Federal Chief Information Officer, Greg Babaccia, is up to his eyebrows folding AI into the federal government. It's a real privilege to work with someone so knowledgeable and energetic on the promise and opportunity AI holds. Now, when it comes to AI, Greg always reminds me 4 key points to keep in mind. Number 1, the federal government should never, ever lag behind. We must be the first mover. That means setting the tone nationally and globally, not just catching up once the party's all over. The U.S. public sector can shape the market by adopting early influencing standards and signaling demand for responsible, trustworthy solutions to AI. Number 2, we should automate as fast as possible. As the earliest user of AI, it makes best sense that any task which is repetitive, routine, and doesn't require serious context or domain knowledge should be automated. The more standard work that can be done without human hands, truly the better. Automation here isn't about replacement, it's about amplification, getting more done with the same or fewer people while reducing burnout and error. And this second point relates to the third. As we quickly deploy AI, we must make sure the technology empowers humans to do what they do best. Under President Trump, the real value of the government workforce won't be data entry or repetitive processes anymore. It will be their judgment, their problem-solving skills, and their stewardship of public resources. We've got to design our systems so humans are focused on uniquely human decisions while AI handles the tasks appropriate for large-scale deployment of this technology. And number 4, the biggest challenge to AI deployment will be trust, not tech. We need to ensure trust, mandate transparency, and create best governance for this new ample resource. Citizens need to trust the government and the tools that it uses. Agencies need confidence that their data is handled responsibly. Vendors need clarity on rules of the road. That's why implementation must emphasize openness, auditability, and accountability to the public as much as any excitement that comes along with the deployment of new technology and new systems. So those are Greg's 4 key points, and like I say, we keep them in mind in the work we do. But there's one more point that's really important to me and senior leaders across the entire federal government. We must be careful to guard against the temptation to use this new technology in incredibly wrong ways. Technology itself is inherently neutral, but it's how it's used that makes all the difference. Remember the dawn of the information age? Some of us are old enough to have been around at the start, with that constant chorus which would only stress the positive. Back then, there was little appreciation of the fact that for all its benefits, there would be many potholes along the information superhighway. It's just human nature. But the downside of any knowledge is the temptation for its abuse. And abuse we've seen. The erosion of individual agency. The squeeze on the right of every American to think for herself. The accelerated contempt of independent judgment. The assumption that human behavior must be reduced to a science, and then technology should be bent so that knowledge from that science could be used and then abused? Well, the information revolution left many Americans ignored, subsumed, suppressed, classed into groups first, and then divided against each other. And then many of our fellow Americans expelled from our common democracy, with them shunned and their rights threatened, or even worse, just simply taken away. Over time, the trickle of troubles became a flood of faults, which victimized too many to benefit too few. We must make sure the government cannot use AI to do that to Americans again. We don't know yet what will be the AI equivalent of debanking, deplatforming, or using government technology to surveil, investigate, and harass, but we must make sure AI isn't abused. The visionary promise of AI to transform government and so much else will succeed if we follow the winning AI course outlined by the President and the First Lady. As Trump appointees, we will act with humility, not hubris, with respect for human dignity, not contempt, with care for all, not benefits for just a few, and ensuring that we preserve, protect, and defend our common humanity, our culture, and our values. Done right, as the President and First Lady have outlined, I am confident we will win the AI race and that the American AI revolution will be another lasting legacy of President Trump's new golden age in the 21st century. So I've been brief and I'm about to be gone. Whether or not I've been bold is really up to you. Thanks again for the invitation. Have a great day.